Hello guys, welcome to oddsmarket.com. Natalie Rydstrom here and our returning guest Martin Green is here to deliver his best Bundesliga picks heading into the weekend. Martin, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Good to be on again.
Good. Listen, how many have you got for us today?
I've got four and a half.
4.5. Interesting.
One I'm not so sure on.
Interesting. I have got 3. So we will start. We can start with your half if you want.
Okay. Well, all of the top 4 from last season are in action this weekend. I fancy 3 of them to win, but the one that I'm uncertain about is Bayer Leverkusen, who travel to Mainz for their game. They're not in particularly good form, Leverkusen, considering how well they played last year. And in the last 10 games against Mainz, they've won 4, lost 4, and drawn 2. So it's very even between these two sides. So I'm thinking the best way to approach this is to go draw no bet.
Okay.
And the better odds are on Mainz. So I'm looking at Mainz draw no bet for my sort of tentative nod on that one.
Interesting. All right. What's your next bet?
Well, Bayern Munich have a relatively easy game away at Hamburg. They've been in fantastic form this season, scoring for fun, not really conceding much. So to get a little bit more value, I think you can just go Bayern and the over 2.5 goals, which gets you 1.75, which I think is very good, really, considering how freely they've been scoring.
Yeah, I've got a tip for that one as well. Hamburg versus Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich a low 1.26 pinnacle, great for an accumulator bet. I was thinking, obviously, Hamburg have failed to score in their last 2 matches. They seem to be really struggling at the moment at home. Obviously, and I think the 1.26 is really not bad odds for how well Bayern Munich are doing and how poor Hamburg are doing. Bayern Munich half-time, full-time is my bet, actually, 1.8 Coral. They've obviously got their pending Champions League fixture next week. I think they're going to get the job done in the first half. I think they're going to, score a couple of goals there, get themselves that lead, maintain their lead, rotate players in the second half.
I wouldn't argue with that at all. Sounds like a very good bet to me.
All right, what's your next bet?
Okay, moving on. Borussia Dortmund playing Freiburg. They've beaten Freiburg 10 times in a row. They just keep steamrolling them every time they play them. So you're well within your rights just to go for Dortmund outright. Add that to your accumulator bet, but not particularly good value. So I was looking at giving Dortmund a minus 1.75 handicap on the Asian handicap, which gets you 1.55, which not amazing value, but I think a little low, but I think it's a pretty safe bet. Or go -2 and bring it up. I think they'll win it comfortably. Do you have a steer on that game?
Yeah, I do. My only worry here is if we remember their last match before their Champions League fixture was against Leipzig, and they lost, and it's the only match that they've lost so far. They lost 1-0. So I've got that in my head, and I'm a little bit nervous. But I think that they will also sort of realise that, because obviously they're in the top 2 of the Bundesliga. They can't afford to let things drop at the moment. Dortmund 1.19 with Pinnacle, which I think is really, really low. But Freiburg obviously really struggle on the road. They've scored just 1 goal. They've conceded 5, which is pretty incredible. I'm actually taking the same bet that I take for Bayern Munich here. Dortmund half-time, full-time, the very same reason. I think it's a must-win. They need to get the job done, and I think they're going to come out guns blazing, and I think that their Leipzig loss will be in their minds, and they've really got to get this job done.
Yeah, what's the price on that?
1.6.
Okay, similar.
A little bit more exciting than yours. Not much, but
I like a 20th of a point, but I'll give you
it. All right. What is your 4.5 and final one?
Okay. Well, my half of one was the Mainz Leverkusen game, but actually you mentioned Leipzig there, and I've been sort of tipping Leipzig all season. Really, I think they're a lot better than the bookmakers are making out. They travel to Cologne, who are also in good form. Both teams have 7 points from 4 games. I just think that Leipzig can spring another surprise here. They'll be full of confidence after that Dortmund win. They're bankrolled by the Red Bull soft drinks empires. They spent a lot of money in the summer. They're a decent team. I think they can keep it going. It's a very good price, 3.25 on the Leipzig win. So I'm interested in that.
Yeah, my bet as well actually comes from Cologne versus Leipzig, and as well obviously their last match, a whopping sort of 4-0 Hamburg win. You know, clearly scoring the goals, clearly winning. Totally with you, except, and this is my little except here, Cologne are actually a tough nut to crack at home. They have not conceded. They held Wolfsburg to a 0-0 draw. And that is sort of my caution. So what I'm doing actually, because there's so much value on the Leipzig outright, I'm taking Leipzig and the draw, just in case this really could be a draw here, and that they, you know, really hold Leipzig to a draw. 1.62 Ladbrokes, and that's double chance there. So you've got the draw and Leipzig.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Giving yourself a bit of an insurance policy.
I've indeed. Yeah, that's the aim. It could be tighter than one would expect. I think that, you know, the 4-0 Hamburg win, it could be misleading to what might happen. In this
I think it will be a tight game. Both teams are in good form, so yeah, I wouldn't be putting my mortgage on a Leipzig win, but I do think that's a very attractive price for an informed side. So fancy a little flutter at that.
All right, great stuff. That rounds off our Bundesliga picks heading into the weekend. Do stay tuned because we're about to head on over now and preview Premier League. And I've got quite a few tips up my sleeve, so interesting to hear what Martin's got. Martin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Look forward to the next one.